Hey everyone, welcome back to Kevin's Micro Fleet. Today is day 3 of the Micro Galaxy Squadron unboxing. So we're going to be taking a look at Series 4 Gold Leader Y-Wing. So we're going to take a look at the figure, at the vehicle. We'll talk about all the different things that it does. We'll do some measurements and we'll do a comparison. Let's go ahead and break this thing out of the box. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look here at Gold Leader's Y-Wing. So let's take a look at the packaging here first. So we've got here the front of the packaging. You can see here that the nacelles are not attached to the body. You'll see why here in a minute once we take this thing out of the packaging. You get a really cool view here that shows just what this looks like when it's all put together. You also get the ability to be able to see Gold Leader. Look at that helmet and the top of the R2 dome. Can't wait to take that out of the box and take a look at it. We've got Series 4 over there on the side. You got here on the bottom, it's got the Gold Leader Y-Wing number 83. As we turn this thing around to the side, there's nothing on the side. On the back, it shows you some of the different features of this vehicle. So we can see here at the top, you've got the R2 droid. You can see here that the nacelle attaches to the side. And it's got some landing gear. You also get a chance to see the other vehicles here that are in the line, and you get this little cutout here. On the side, there's nothing, and on the bottom, if you need the UPC, there is the UPC for you. So this is the first time I've ever cut one open here live, so bear with me. Hopefully I don't cut my finger off, and so you get a chance to see how I open these guys up anyways. So I typically cut right here along this edge. And then what I'll do is come around here to this side. Start right there on the edge. Get that thing going. So I like to save the boxes here. I actually go ahead and laminate these guys. Then we get around here to the side. Boom. So there we go. And then I will just go ahead and slice this guy off here. I'll just be careful to make sure that I don't cut my finger. If you ever do this at home, always make sure that you cut away from yourself. Don't cut towards yourself. That is one thing that I've learned over the years. So here we go. So now we've got this thing free, and here is the box art on the back. So nice image here of a TIE fighter, as well as there's our Y-Wing. We got a couple X-Wings. We got a big Star Destroyer there in the background. Very cool little back scene. Now as we go ahead and take this guy out, we'll see here on the underside, we've got just a crashed Star Destroyer there. Interesting. That looks almost like a First Order Star Destroyer, but who knows? So there you go, that's that. And that's a nice little package that you can be able to put on the, like a little display stand. So here it is. Let's take the figure out first and take a quick look at him. So he comes inside this little blister pack. I still love that they do this. I hope they continue this forever. I love being able to open these figures up like this. And man, I mean, you've got to be kidding me. Look at the quality of the detail on that helmet. That is unbelievable. You know, I paint a lot of miniatures, and I think anybody out there that paints miniatures realizes how difficult that is. I mean, that would have to be some type of a water slide decal to be able to get that out. I mean, look at the quality of the lines on there, and this is all done by a machine. So they use something called tampo printing, which they essentially get this image onto like a little piece of like rubber or whatever, and they just tamp it on top of the helmet. I mean, I can't believe how good and how accurate that is. Gosh, that is incredible. Now, beyond that, you got the rest of the figure, which is just the rest of the figure. It's an X-Wing pilot. But look at that helmet, man. Whew. That's cool. And then we get this, this R2 droid. So the one thing that they did great with the R2 droids now is they actually have this dome where it actually has the little lines on it, which is amazing, instead of it just being an arbitrary dot like it is on some of the other versions, which we'll show you really quick. So here is what the dot normally looks like at the top of the R2 droid. So now that they've got these newer versions where they actually can tampo print that detail on top, again, amazing difference. Now, the other thing that's really cool about this droid, when I originally saw it, I was like, it's just a gray droid. That's boring. But it is gray, but it has that silver detailing on it, which is nice. So there we go. Now, from a measurement perspective, this guy is 1 inch tall, which gives you a good feel for ultimately how detailed that helmet is. And then this guy here is just over 1/2 inch. So this is actually John Vander. How about that? I didn't even notice that when I first opened the package. That's pretty cool. So we got a named pilot here. Not just Gold Leader, it's John Vander. And so let's go ahead and take this guy out. So this is always my least favorite part of opening the box because some of these are a pain in the butt to get out. That popped out nice and easy. So there's your one side. There's your other side. And then now let's see if we can get this guy out. So typically what you have to do is almost like break the packaging to get this thing out of here. And that came out way easier than I had expected. Thank goodness. There's a lot of times where I've taken these things out of here and I'm worried about them breaking. So here you can see on the wings, so there is what it looks like. So you can see this little part. I figured I would do it this way so that way we get a chance to see what it looks like as we go ahead and pop these guys in here. I don't know if there is like a specific side that has to go on one side or the other. Yep, so there you go. That's a great way to see this. So you can actually see there are 2 different sides to this, 2 different sizes as well of these little holes. So you can only put it on the right way. Thank you for doing that so I didn't screw this thing up. So we'll go ahead and slide this guy in there. Okay, so I finally got these things on here, I think as good as I can get them. Unfortunately, there is a little, so there's some little pipes here that connect into the side of the wing. And when you go to slide this thing in here, they don't quite fit. So you kind of have to finagle it. I would say, man, this would be a really hard thing for a kid to be able to put together. You would definitely need to have an adult go through and put this thing together to get that thing positioned in there. It does have a little hook in it, so it should clip in. You can actually see this here on the inside there of the landing gear. That little rectangular piece in there is the part of the wing that should push through there and clip in. I don't know if I got either one of these things clipped all the way in. It looks like it's sitting okay, but I mean, if I force it anymore, I'm going to break this thing. So anyways, there you go. So we got the nacelles on. So this thing looks really nice. I really like the just how dirty it looks. So I remember seeing this originally at Star Wars Celebration, and this was completely clean. And I was thinking, man, that just does not look right. This one has a super heavy wash on it. So the really heavy wash is really on this part here. It's not on the nacelles, which kind of makes it look a little bit odd because it's like, well, shouldn't some of that grime and stuff be over here on this part as well? But, you know, it is what it is. So starting from the front, again, you can see all the wash that's all over here on the front of the cockpit. You've got these 2 little guns here in the front. And I'll show you the bottom here in a second, but I'm not going to do that. And then you've got your opening cockpit. You do have the gun here on the top that twists, and then you can open the cockpit. It opens sideways, which is really cool. So that's the way that it opens in the movie. So it's cool that they actually added that feature in there. And then we'll flip it here to the underside to see. So you've got 2 proton torpedoes here. These things are really cool. So I'll see if I can go ahead and get this guy out of here, or how to get this thing out of here. Probably best to use some tweezers to do this. And this is one of those where it's great to be able to have something like this in here, where it's like this added little bonus feature that you just didn't even know was going to be on there. And again, we'll see if I can get this thing out of here. Hopefully I don't break these things. There it is. Popped it right out. So here is what that proton torpedo looks like. Oops, there we go. So pretty cool. It's kind of like looks like a little teeny pen or something like that. And just from a quick measurement of this thing, it is 1 inch long. So it's about as tall as one of the figures. So really cool that on the underside of this, you actually get these. So there are 2 of them and they clip right in place like that, which is sweet. So as we keep going down, we've got our R2 port. We've got the little thing here in the bottom to be able to push him out. So if we go ahead and pop him in there, you can push on this little push button and that will eject him. That ejected him pretty sweet. Flew all the way across the desk. And then you've got your nacelles here. So in the Action Fleet version, which I'll show here, they have this little clear piece to try to protect this. This plastic here is pretty hard, so I'm pushing on that pretty good amount, and it's got just a tiny bit of give to it, which is always the biggest challenge with a Y-Wing. And I love this negative space that they do here on the back of the engines. Again, it's one of those hard things to do on a toy because it can break so easily, but because they're using such hard plastic, it works. You get some engine burn in there as well as the glowing engines, which looks really nice. And then just the color detail on this is pretty cool as well. You do have landing gear that pops out, so you got landing gear here on both sides that opens, as well as this one here on the front, which the landing gear looks pretty sweet. And there you go, clicks right in place. So that way you can set this thing down in its landed position. So let's go ahead and pop the R2 unit back in there. We'll go ahead and put the pilot in, and then we'll do a couple measurements. So again, we'll kick this thing to the side. Gosh, I love that, man. They do such a great job with some of the details on this. Unbelievable. I mean, look at all the engine detail that's inside the cockpit as well. So here goes our boy, John. He's in the cockpit, steering it right before he gets ready to do his trench run. And there he is inside. So pretty cool to be able to see the figure in there, as well as if we're looking through the front window, you can see him. The window is tinted just slightly, so it's not perfectly clear. All right, so let's go ahead and do some measurements, and then we'll do a comparison. Come on. Whew, that's tight. So from front to back here, we are looking at about 7 1/4 inches. So it's the main reason why they have to have the engines separated in the actual box. Here we go. We got 4 inches wide. And then when it's in this position here, it's about 1 inch. Let's call that 1.5 inches tall. Now, looking at this one compared to the Action Fleet version. So, whoops. Hang on a second here. Lost my droid. So here is it compared to the Action Fleet. So actually, not that bad in terms of size. So the Micro Galaxy one is just a little bit bigger. You can see that the nacelles are a little longer. Actually, sorry, the nacelles are the same size. It's really just more a function of this portion of it that's longer. And obviously you can see with the Action Fleet version how clunky this back part of the engine looks, which is really the best way to do it, to have this clear plastic in here so you never have to worry about those things bending or breaking. And then again, there is some paint on there as well. You do get your R2 droid in there, and the cockpit opens like this to be able to get your figure. So again, just a massive difference in the figure quality when you're looking at this gold leader, who basically just has a gold helmet. It's got the 2 gold stripes on it, versus our gold leader, John Vander here, who actually has detailing on his helmet. So pretty amazing, the difference in the quality of the figure. So that is your review of Gold Leader's Y-Wing. If you liked it and you're hanging with me this far, please go ahead and like and subscribe to the video. or to my channel. Also, go ahead in the description. You can check out a link to a Facebook page I run. If you're not a member of it, please come over and join me. And thanks for tuning in. So we're going to have another review coming up here tomorrow. So get ready to tune into that.